We have 5 properties. I just turned 30. We want to continue to work our way up to having more and investing. And I would say that's a big aha that I've had this year too, of focusing so much on helping other people to invest that I've almost taken a step back from my own investment goals. Acknowledging that and realizing, hey, you got into this business to begin with because you wanted to learn more about real estate investing. Don't get so tied up in helping other people achieve their goals that you're no longer achieving yours.
Welcome to the Your Peak Life podcast. Let's conquer the summit of life and reach the apex of our potential.
Welcome to another episode of Your Peak Life podcast. Today we have a special guest, Taylor Bagnick, and she's going to give us a little brief summary on who she is.
Yeah, thanks so much. So my name's Taylor Bagnick. I am originally from the Philadelphia area. Met my husband at Penn State, and we got stationed here in 2019. So I have now been in real estate here locally since the end of 2020. So I'm in my 4th year in real estate. I'm on the Cova Collective Realty team, and just happy to be here and happy to be in this industry and in this room with you guys. Thanks for having me.
Kids?
No kids.
No?
Nope, just a dog.
Okay.
Just a dog.
Dog and my
Life's easy
husband.
then.
Yeah,
What kind of dog?
life is good. He's a mix. We got one of those DNA tests. They said lab mix, of course.
yeah.
We got him
They're all lab
They're all
mixes.
lab mixes. We got him in Pensacola and rescued him. He's a pit bull, Boston Terrier, French bulldog.
Okay.
Wow.
Yep.
Okay, that's quite the mix.
Quite the mix. He's like he looks like a pit bull puppy that never grew.
And is your husband still active duty?
He is. Yep.
Okay,
So he
nice.
was on the USS Gerald Ford that was on deployment all of 2023. Got him back in January. So he's back home currently. He's a helicopter pilot for the Navy.
Nice.
Yeah.
Awesome.
With that being said, you got 4 years here.
Yes.
I don't want to get on to all real estate, but you're killing it. And
Thank
I
you.
think I just saw you on stage about a week ago.
Yes. At the
How
Glover
was
U
that?
retreat. It was great. So I thank you, first of all. So I attribute it to just the right connections. So Kaleo Kina, he was my realtor when I moved into the area.
Yeah.
My husband and I had been actively investing in real estate. My career before real estate was actually working in radio. So I worked for iHeart Radio for 3 years. It was my
wow.
dream job.
Yeah.
Felt like I had made it based off of my broadcast degree. We moved here. They allowed me to keep my position with the radio station down in Mobile, Alabama. So I was working remotely, still doing my show from the Norfolk office. I had 8 stations. I handled all their websites and social media, which was really cool. And the thing that was not so cool was during COVID, all we were reporting out on was all negative
Right.
news. Like,
Right.
listen to this podcast about how the world is ending, and this concert's canceled, and we don't know when life will go back to normal.
Right.
And I was just inundated
Too much.
with
Yeah,
negativity.
and you start living in that.
Yeah. And you almost had to prove to everybody that you were putting in the work when you were working from home. So it was from the second that you woke up until you went to bed.
Right.
And it was just a lot. So I decided, talked to Kaleo. We had 2 properties at the time and knew that we wanted to keep building our investment portfolio. So originally it was, hey, I've spent $99 on dumber things. Why don't I get my license? Because
Yeah, no doubt.
that's how much it costs to get your real
Right.
estate license is $99 for the course. So I took the course, was originally going to hang it in referral status, and ultimately just saw the way that the radio industry was transitioning, and there were more and more layoffs that were happening.
Right.
And ultimately, November 2020 went all in on real estate. So it was one of those kind of sink or swim situations of I want to do this. The universe has given me the opportunity. I surrounded myself with the right people. Let's do it. So went all in. I would say, January 2021 was my first full year in real estate.
And how did that first year look?
So it was It was fantastic. It was a lot of learning. And I would say my start into real estate was a lot different than a lot of other people's. So for me, I've always been super motivated by money. I've worked since I was 14. I'll do anything to learn and grow, but I want to make money in the process. So what I had done was I teamed up with a top producing agent who had been doing about 60 deals a year and needed some leverage. So to me, cool, I can learn from you and do all of your showings, home inspections, final walkthroughs while I'm building up my portfolio or building up my database of people that want to buy. So pretty quickly, people were moving into the area. I had about 10 sphere of influence deals by May of that year, while also partnering with her. And at that point, the team had given me the opportunity, hey, you can be your own agent at this point. But she didn't want to lose me, and we had such a good dynamic going.
Right.
So we decided to merge our businesses together that first year. So I did everything forward-facing, showings, home inspections, final walkthroughs, while she continued to generate business and handle the deals on the back end. And we did 94 buyer-side deals my first year in real estate, which was just priceless, the amount of knowledge that I gained from that.
Not to mention the sphere you get from that, right? Because
Correct.
you're the face that's out in the street, right? And I say this because I've been using a showing agent model for years now.
Yeah.
But it's the showing agent that actually gets the fruit of that labor. You should be getting the referral. You should be asking for the business.
Yeah.
Like, one deal should be 3.
Yeah.
You know?
I was going to make a point.
Sounds
to that,
like you executed that to the fullest extent.
Absolutely. And now Cheyenne, that's who I partnered with, has since left production. She's now training and educating, which she's phenomenal at. But by putting in that work that I did that first year and proving to people that I'm willing to show up, I'm now the top producing agent on our team. And it's just led to so many more opportunities.
Yep.
And the amount of I don't know that people touch 94 deals in years in real estate, let alone
Most people
their
never
first.
will. Most people never will.
Yeah.
And then to your point is, I think when we talk to agents is, and to those people that are watching or that are in their first year or thinking about it, it's like there's a split there, and people get so caught up with not giving up money, trying to keep the most of it, and it's like you don't understand the bigger picture.
Yeah. 0% of 0 is
You're
zero.
not going to do business. You went from year 1 to now you're a 4-year agent. Let's just say that.
Yeah.
But you got the experience of
She was coachable. You know, like
You got way
you're
more
like,
experience
I'm
than
going to
anybody else.
find somebody doing what I want to do, and then I'm going to learn how to do it. That's what it takes to make it in real estate. I just had this conversation this morning at one of the one-on-ones. Like, you have to want it.
Absolutely.
You have to want it.
People let ego get in the way. They let the splits get in the way. And ET at the conference that we were just at, the Live on Real conference.
Shout out Eric Thomas.
Yeah, Eric Thomas. He had said, do you want... that year it would have been 100% of 19 deals or 15% of 94 deals.
Yes.
And was that a ton of work? Absolutely. But the knowledge that I gained in that has made me the agent that I am today.
Right.
And so many people nowadays aren't willing to take that sacrifice up front that is then going to just
that database.
completely change the trajectory of what their future holds.
You'll have business for life from your first year.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, and then the experience of touching 94 deals.
Everything that takes place.
Everything that takes place, that experience is 10 years of experience for a regular, schmegular agent. That's probably more than 10 years. Average agent does 3 to 5 deals a year. To hit 90, we're talking, 15 years or so.
Yeah.
So, that's awesome. Good stuff.
Yeah, no, and I love the partner agent model. I think that it's fantastic for newer agents, for seasoned agents, because there's also seasoned agents are so reluctant to bring somebody on for a lot of the same reasons.
See, that's crazy to me.
I think it's crazy,
I've
too.
never been that way. These guys know the whole time they've known me, I've had a showing agent.
Yeah.
And each one of those showing agents is either an owner, a broker, a team lead, a coach. Like, because they were in the field with somebody that was doing it at a high level. But then I also used that time as leverage to run the firm.
Yeah.
Right? So it's a win-win for everybody.
That's-
You
that's
still
what
get a
you saw me
paycheck.
Yeah.
You're still in production. You're still with the younger, newer agents, so you know what's going on the ground. It just makes sense to me.
It does. It's a win-win, and I preach it all the time.
And out of real estate, is your husband on sea duty, shore duty right now?
Shore duty right now. He actually, unfortunately, came back from deployment with a fracture and 2 bulging discs. So he's...
Of course he did, because the Navy never takes care of you when you're out to sea, bro.
Yeah.
Hold on. My mind goes to like worst case scenario. Was there a helicopter accident?
No. So he said it wasn't any one specific event.
the rack,
it's
bro.
just, yeah, probably. And the Ford's supposed to be one of the nicer ships, which is just insane
they're all
to me.
Yeah, they got
Nice.
AC in there, right?
Yeah.
In your,
Yeah. No.
Hold on, he's an officer, right?
He's an
a-
officer.
he's not only an officer; he's a helicopter pilot.
He's got a stateroom.
Hey, let's keep it real now.
Oh, here we go.
He's got a stateroom and a
he's
hot
living,
line.
yeah, he's living his.
But no,
hot-
seriously,
of hot
I relate because to this day I have a bulging disc in my back, and
Herniated disc over here.
yeah. So
Yeah, all
we
the
just
back
we
issues.
know the deal, you know.
My back hurts from carrying the team all 2023.
Damn. Shots fired, Kay. Shots fired. But on that though, shout out to Kaleo too though, because a lot of people
Yeah.
wouldn't let an agent come in here. And I think that's a huge part of y'all's success is that you actually support other people and you're not scared to collaborate. So shout out to him, the whole team. I just
100%.
think that's cool because you want to talk about confidence. Let my top agent walk into the lion's den. I don't care. I love it.
Yeah,
I love it.
Yeah.
And
And that's
and we're in the same fucking business.
Same market.
Well,
like
we also have. I think we're a little bit unique with Kaleo because we all have a relationship with him,
yeah, 100%.
right? Like,
Yeah.
Kaleo, I consider, he's in my squad. I hit him up. He knows my number.
Mm-hmm.
Like, he's the one that really got me into the pickleball.
Yeah,
Yeah.
thanks, asshole.
Yeah, for
Yeah,
sure.
everybody's
Basketball's
a pickle.
supposed to be his number one sport, and here they got me playing pickleball.
Got
we can't
me
even.
into the pickleball. I mean,
Oh,
there is a hoop right on it
that's
too.
fair.
So you
is
guys,
true.
I'm just waiting for you guys to make some kind of game up of pickleball, basketball mashup of how that works.
If
on the
anyone
court.
does that, it'll be me.
Yeah. No, and you really are one relationship away from changing your entire life. So we got
absolutely.
in connection with Kaleo because we were in Pensacola, Florida, while Chris was in flight school. And there was a realtor who was on the back of a bathroom stall, and my husband had called that number, who then got us in touch with Kaleo. So Kaleo likes to say, well, Taylor's husband found my name on the back of a bathroom stall in Pensacola. I'm like, not really true, but kind of. And
Basically.
that's how we got connected, and we continued to stay connected.
Yeah.
And he saw something in me at the time that I'm so thankful that he did. And I was a part of that original merger between him and Megan. So we started small but mighty in 2021, and we've just continued to grow and evolve and learn every step of the way. But Kaleo is absolutely pivotal in just who I am as a person today, and I can't thank him enough.
Shout out to Megan too. Megan's
Megan.
a rock star.
Yeah.
facts.
Yeah, and Cheyenne was
attitude,
who
so.
So Megan and Cheyenne had been working with each other. Megan doing all the listings, Cheyenne doing all the buyers, and Cheyenne wanted to start a family, and that's when her and I had merged our businesses together. And all of 2021, she did not leave the house one time. Grew a baby. I did over 750 showings that made it on my Google Calendar. I know this because I made the mistake of not tracking my miles and having to go back to my Google Calendar
For your taxes?
For my taxes. My husband wanted to kill me.
Mile IQ. If
Yes.
you don't have it.
Yeah. Now I'm on all the things.
There you go.
But I was just so ready to go. It's
Yeah.
tax season.
I'm
They're-
showing right now.
Yeah. They're like, did you track your miles? I'm like, hey, Chris.
Great idea,
I
but
did get them
no.
all on my calendar. So how about we map these out? So
love it.
that was a fun day.
Well, you're killing it. You're moving on up. What's 5 years look like from now?
Yeah, ideally, so us being from the Philadelphia area, ultimately we do want to get back to Philly. That's where all of our friends and family is. When I'm here in Virginia on the weekends, I'm hustling. I'm working to get deals done. And
because that's when we get deals done,
and that's
right?
what we do. So typically I do I typically head up to the Philadelphia area at least one weekend out of the month, or Wildwood, New Jersey is where
The Jersey boy right there.
Yep.
I got so many Wildwood memories.
Yep. Yep. I had worked in Wildwood since I was 14. Wow. Every summer. Yep. Yep. So that's my escape. That's where I really get to hang out with my people, my friends, my family. Yeah. No one has left. I'm the only one that's really left the coop, I would say. So I really like Virginia in the sense of it being just a drive away from friends and family. But ultimately, we are looking to be the first COVA expansion into the Philadelphia area is ultimately the goal. So just working towards that to make sure that I have my leverage straight here so that that's fully functioning while I duplicate things.
Now, leverage here meaning you can still produce here when you go, right?
Yeah. I'd be coming back 1 week out of every month, 3 weeks there. We'll see what that looks like. But that's ultimately my big vision and goal for what my life, an unreal life looks like.
So I'm guessing you're in 5 years. Is your husband going to be out the military by then?
That's our hope. That is our hope.
It.
Yeah, I've always said that I want, when we get to that point where he's up on his time, which is about 2027, I believe, right around there, if he wants to stay in, by all means, I will love and support you through that, but I don't want it to be you have to stay in versus you want to stay in.
Right.
Yeah.
We are at a financial place where I have done enough and set us up enough where if you're staying in, it's because you truly love it and enjoy it versus feeling like we need to work for this pension and benefits and all of that.
The majority of the people that stay in is simply just that. They're not financially stable. They have to stay in because they got to make those car
Or
notes.
fear too.
Mortgage payment.
Yeah, that fear of the unknown.
Yeah, and just a personal story on that. So I lost my dad in April of 2021, who had worked for the city of Philadelphia and worked his butt off for full pension, benefits, all the things, to only enjoy it for 1 year and it completely going away. And the biggest assets that he left us was real estate. So to me, I look at pension and benefits a lot differently than a lot of people in...
It's all a game. It's just something they sell people to get them to be employees. It's what people don't understand.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. And I get it. There are people that, if that is your passion, please,
do your thing.
by all means. Yeah. But feeling like you have to work towards that and not living your life in between, that's where it
the gap
really
is.
hurts me. Yeah, and that is where the gap is. And just educating people. We have a huge opportunity as members of the military to purchase a property at every duty station. That's exactly what my husband and I have done. We have 5 properties. I just turned 30. We want to continue to work our way up to having more and investing. And I would say that's a big aha that I've had this year too, of focusing so much on helping other people to invest that I've almost taken a step back from my own investment goals. So just acknowledging that and realizing, hey, you got into this business to begin with because you wanted to learn more about real estate investing. Don't get so tied up in helping other people achieve their goals that you're no longer achieving yours. So that's a big thing for me this year, is to get our next.
Got to put your mask on first, right?
Yeah.
I have a question about how you got hooked up with Glover. I would imagine Kay, right?
Yeah, so Megan and Kaleo paid for the team to go to his first event that was in Chesapeake at the end of 2020.
The tour stop
the
they
tour
did?
stop. And Andy was the one who got
Organized
him
it,
here. Yeah, organized it. So I had no idea who he was.
So you met Jeff the first time I met him.
Yep. Yeah, that was the first time, and I was blown away by how much he shared and how much information
that you could actually use and go sell real estate. Yeah.
Yeah, in just a short 4 hours, whatever. So I had signed up for the retreat right then and there on the spot. I had never been to a real estate retreat before in my life. my teammates were looking at me like I was crazy. They're like, "You're signing up for that right here, right now? Like
Absolutely.
you've never gone to any real estate event
Where was that
to
retreat
date."
at?
Was that the summit?
It was the summit
In
in
Phoenix,
Florida. It was
Florida.
the 2023
Was that
January summit was in Florida. It was
I
in
didn't go to
Orlando.
that.
It was
You
in
went.
Orlando.
I went. I can't remember, bro. I went to Lead Up. I went to the summit. I went to the other
Yeah.
retreat, this retreat. Kathy's my coach. Like am I a Glover lover? I might be a Glover lover.
You are.
Shout out to Jeff, man.
Yeah.
You know,
No,
Okay.
so
but
that-
they kill it though. They do, man. Like there's value there, especially for new agents.
a ton of value. So myself and I bullied my friend Kathleen into going. I'm like, hey, sign up. We're going to this.
Yes.
So Kathleen and I went, and it was the thing that I love about Glover U is Kathleen and I are in the trenches together, trying to just achieving the same goals in different ways. Kathleen's life looks a lot different than my life.
Right.
She has 4 boys that she's taking care of.
Busy.
Yeah, while grinding and doing all that she does. For her, her unreal life looks a lot different from my unreal life. And in that room, we were able to look at each other and say, yes, we're in the trenches together, but we also need to find other people in this room that are after the same goals. I was like, hey, do you want to do 100 deals a year? She's like, absolutely not. You're insane. I was like, cool. I'm going to go find somebody that wants to do 100 deals a year. She's like, cool. I'm going to find another mom who's not looking to do 100 deals
Right.
a year and is trying to achieve X, Y, and
Because
Z.
it's for your life.
Exactly. So that's the thing that I really love about Glover U is you are able to find people outside of your market that are doing big things. Because at this point, top producer on my team, top producer in the market center. Those are all great things. But
Yeah,
if
but
I
who's gonna
stop
help you?
there,
Who's gonna help you?
Exactly. If I stop there, then
the same
I'm at
thing.
my my ceiling. And am I comfortable there? No, I'm not. I want to continue to elevate myself. And then I go to the Glover U conferences, and I'm uncomfortable with how big the big things that people are achieving, but uncomfortable in a great way of like, wow, that is
There's more
achievable.
out
There's
there.
more
Yeah.
out there.
There's
There's
more.
we're capable of so much more if we do X, Y, and Z.
Yeah, that's
It's the law of the lid in those rooms.
Absolutely.
Like you're just elevating yourself.
well, John Maxwell. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was my biggest thing. I went to that first event. I was like, this is valuable. And then I went to a real event, and I was like, somebody here can help me. And that's when I met Kathy. Because nobody in Hampton Roads wants to help us. You know what I'm saying? So,
Well, you know what I will say? I feel like since that first event and since we've all been starting to go to the retreats, I think we are now identifying the people here locally that do want to achieve the same things as
absolutely.
us.
And,
That we
and be
may
industry
not
leaders, 100%.
we may not have ever known had a broker agnostic training and education
Not taking
program
place.
come to Hampton Roads, which that's what I also think is super cool.
Right.
That we're continuing to come back from these events and brainstorm and
So
collaborate.
I was just going to ask you, because I don't know if Kay's mentioned it to you yet, but I kind of started this thing where we come back from an event and we put on our own event.
Nice.
So we did the summit, we did the lead up breakdown.
recap.
Now I'm going to do the retreat recap. So you're probably going to get asked to be on a panel, just
I
so
would
you
be
know,
happy
because I know
to.
you were there. So, but
Yeah.
Andy being a Glover U coach and Kay being embedded in the culture,
Mm-hmm.
and then obviously me coaching with Kathy. Our training program is actually licensed by Glover U. So, but yeah, we're going to do that, and
Well,
that's
not only that, the last time, I mean, you put it all together and then you got
yeah, I
sick.
couldn't even be there.
You
I
got
had
I
COVID,
think,
but you
that
guys had a
time.
great
was a
turnout.
great-
Yeah,
It was a good. We was up
standing
there.
room only,
Yeah.
you know.
Mm-hmm.
So, but all of that makes sense because, like, even our training program, we teach the Live Unreal formula now.
Yeah.
That was part of the negotiations when we licensed the program. So we do the peak performance. It's outlined and based off of Sales Rocket.
nice.
Andy and I were directed by our coaches to come up with a training program, and we were like, well, we'll rewrite this. And then Jeff was kind enough to, put the confidence in us to own that product and sell it. So it's been a game changer for me all the way around, for the whole company, for me personally. And because of their coaching, I went and hired another coach, and then I wrote a book and all this craziness. It stems from being in those rooms. I saw Ed Milet speak. I was like, man, I can do that. You see Jeff teaching the training, and I'm like, man, we do that all the time. It's just not in this forum, So we built it out, and it's just been the podcast exists because of them. We came back and we're like, we can have a podcast. Why not? We got room. Set it up. Oh, Live Unreal, the media team. Like a lot of what we're doing is tied to Glover and everything that they do. So he deserves a lot of love for that.
Yeah, absolutely. No, congrats on your book too. And when you put together that Eric Thomas doing the speaking with everyone before the event and everything like that, just the vulnerability that you
were there?
I was there. Yeah.
Well,
yeah.
Thanks for coming.
Of course. No, and I appreciate that, and I'm happy that we are doing more things like that in order to bring that same Glover U culture here locally to the area.
Because our market needs it.
It's missing that. I would
Mm-hmm.
say.
You know, I use you as an example all the time. You know, I'm with
yeah.
my daughter. I'm with my daughter. Yeah. I'm with my daughter.
Yeah,
all
we
the
know
time,
who's killing
right?
it, you know?
So I tell Taina, you doing all right. You got to get with Taylor, though. You know what I mean? I said, see what she's doing.
I love it.
And then see where you're at. I use you all the time. You
I
know,
appreciate
because
that.
She needs that motivation. She's a lot younger. She's 21 years old. She's in the business for a year, but you're one of those people that I say, Taina, you're doing well, but you could do more. Look at her. So that kind of gives, and she's already kind of knows who you are. She's familiar. So it gives her that motivation also. Hey, there's someone else in my marketplace that did what I want to do.
Yeah.
I know it's I know it's attainable. I know it's achievable.
Proof of concept.
Yep,
That's
proof of
all any of
concept.
us need is proof of
100%.
concept. We don't have to reinvent the wheel.
But that's also why I'm okay being vulnerable the way that I am. That's why I talk to everybody the way that I do. Nobody gets different treatment. If you were just in here for training an hour ago, we were lighting this place up. It's just, if you're faking it to make it, you're not going to make it.
Not at all.
So people appreciate authenticity. They appreciate a real story. And nobody is sitting on top of a throne without being at rock bottom.
Yeah.
And if they tell you that, they're full of shit. That's just what it is. Too many people faking and not telling the truth. Just like you said, you did 94 deals that first year. How many hours a week did you work?
Oh, I can't even count.
90?
A ton. Yeah.
85 to 100, somewhere in there?
At least 80, I would
So,
say.
but that's the
Minimum.
piece that people are like, oh, I'm gonna get a license and I'm gonna kill it like her. No, you're not. You know why? Because she has work ethic. Like,
Yeah.
I don't. Well, I say my biggest pet peeve is when people say, "Hey, I'm gonna get my real estate license and do it part time."
Yeah.
I want to say like that's my biggest pet peeve.
well, it's one of mine too. But we're in a funny situation because we were part-time agents, right? So I have to think back, like, damn, this is what they
But
meant.
was it part time or was it too full time?
I mean, I was producing, but I'm
Right?
saying in the eyes of a broker or an owner now,
Yeah.
when I look at it, I'm like, dang, that's what they used to think about us.
Yep.
But it's determined by your work ethic. You know, are you going to get up early? Are you going to skip lunch? Are you going to go straight to showing houses in uniform? Like,
Yeah.
we did all that.
Well,
So
I think the value too, we have a ton of agents in our office who are dual career as well with that transition. I feel like the bulk of your guys' lead generation time when you were in active duty was during your active duty hours
100%.
where most agents are having to that was your form of lead generation.
Prospecting. Yeah, for sure.
And then once you got off work, you're doing all of the same activities that we're doing.
it was the
after
same
5.
schedule. That's what you're
It
getting
really
at.
is. Yeah,
100%.
it really is a
'Cause
similar schedule.
If I
it
could
just
take an
looks
hour or
different.
two in between my day,
Mm-hmm.
it's like, say, me and you're a senior chief, I was a chief at the height of my career. We have computer access. You know, say we have a
100,
desk.
I did it.
We have a phone. You know what I mean? So you're right.
Yeah,
it
and
would
what
be
are
the same
chiefs
thing.
really doing during the day.
It would be
honest.
it would be your touch points, right? Like on Facebook, Instagram, whatever, text messages, and then when you get off, boom, your appointments are there. So
Absolutely.
I've never made that connection, but that is
Yeah.
the same way we teach to do our job. I was just doing it the whole time.
Yeah. And I think that that's what people don't realize.
No, I don't. I just told you that.
Yeah. We
wait a minute.
structure our
I've
day
been
to
doing
not
this.
take appointments until a certain time.
Yep.
So as long as you have that schedule in place, those are
Yeah,
just
you do
your
some
lead
marketing,
generation
you do some
hours.
prospecting, you do like Matt Salway, bro. We got you now. We know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Our top guy, he's active duty Navy. So
Oh, awesome.
yeah, he'll do like 30
Part time.
Yeah.
Right.
Part time.
Part time doing
He'll
30
do
million.
30 million this year. Crazy.
Wow.
Just
Yeah.
part time.
That's fantastic. It does blow my mind.
But he
though.
does run. He runs a showing agent model. He's very disciplined. His follow up game is crazy. Everybody goes in home buy. Everybody goes into CRM.
Yeah.
You know, so he's got a system and it works.
Systems. As long as you're in your systems, there's no doubt that you're going to succeed.
Absolutely, I would agree.
Taylor, what when I think about you, when I look at you, right, I automatically think real estate. I think you got that down. Right?
You just look like a realtor.
Yeah, no, you have that about you.
Yeah.
But outside of real estate, what do you like to do?
Yeah, I love Wildwood, New Jersey is my happy place. It really is. So
Boardwalk fries,
What's going
fist
on in
pumps.
Wildwood? I need.
Yo,
What is,
that's off camera, but that
yeah, we got stories offline.
Yeah.
all right.
No, so my first job at the age of 14 was setting up umbrellas on the beach. And I've always said that if money didn't matter, I would go back to that job in a heartbeat. You would get down there around 9 o'clock, open up your shop, and I would rent umbrellas and chairs until 5 o'clock, close up. And then I had another job on the boardwalk at the big chair, which was legitimately just this huge chair on the boardwalk that people would pay to take pictures on. Before everyone had camera phones, we would take the pictures and put them in funny backgrounds and
stuff.
all of that. So I've always loved to work. I've found so much enjoyment in working, and I always have made it so much fun. So how can you not have fun sitting on the beach and setting up umbrellas for people? I would just
all I saw was you at this beach with Kova umbrellas.
Yeah.
Like, that's the next event. Join me at the oceanfront. Here's your custom umbrella.
Yeah.
It's been raining a lot lately. They might need them.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, we got a surfing event
Yeah.
hosted by.
I'm simple though. I love the beach. My ideal day is just sitting in a beach circle with a huge cooler with my friends, blasting some good music, drinking, and then going to no shower happy hour is what they call it down the shore, down in New Jersey, and going back, having a late dinner, and just continuing a beach circle and laughing and telling stories and all that. Nice. But my fun fact is my first job out of college, I worked for Oscar Mayer driving the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile.
Oh,
Wow.
What?
Yep.
I need a picture.
So she's just a hustler. That's what we're getting.
Yeah.
Here.
So
she'll sell you an umbrella or a hot dog.
Or
It
a
don't
hot
matter.
dog, whatever you need, or a house,
or a house.
anything. So that was super
great.
cool. My husband he still had one more year up at Penn State. We were dating at the time. This Wienermobile position was a 1-year position, full salary, benefits. Thousands of people apply.
Gig. This
Serious
is crazy.
gig. You are the face of Kraft Heinz Company. So they call it a PR firm on wheels. You have to have a college degree.
true.
They recruit at the top communications colleges.
Imagine just
That's crazy.
road raging in that thing. Like,
Yeah.
you can't.
Yeah, well, there was just a flip. So one of the hot doggers flipped one of the Wienermobiles. Thankfully,
And
they
now,
got out safe.
Taylor's next open house is the Wiener Dog Mobile, free umbrella.
Yeah,
Like-
all the things.
Yeah.
All the things. Yeah, we're talking
love
about
it.
how to make open houses events.
So
Yep, I love it.
You just said the hot dogger flipped the Wienermobile.
Yeah, so that was our job position, hot dogger. So there's a lot of similarities in my job with Oscar Mayer that we have now. So thousands of people apply, 12 get selected. It was a 3-step interview process. It was intense. They flew you, if you made it to the final round, they flew you out to Madison, Wisconsin. 25 people made it to the final round, and they were going to pick 12 from there. So at that point, I'm like,
That's a lot
I only
of
have to
action.
beat out half of these people. I got this in the bag. We're good. So it was 3 days of like dinners, and you had to meet with each person. I mean, this is a $1 million vehicle that they're trusting 21-year-olds with. And we would have to do radio, television, newspaper appearances. We would have to negotiate our hotel rooms. I was on the West Coast, and I had to keep my hotel rate at $65 a night. Talk about negotiations and making connections.
Jeez.
Yeah, it was wild. During San Diego, during Comic-Con, had to negotiate $65 a night.
Wow.
Yeah, it was crazy.
In the Wiener Dog truck.
In the
You're at,
Wienermobile.
That's
Logan Heights.
crazy.
It was a
Under
coast-to-coast
the-
wiener roast,
Out of
spreading
coast.
miles of smiles.
Wow.
So we went through 2 weeks at Hot Dog High.
Yeah.
And so half of it is learning how to drive the vehicle, and the other half is script practicing. Like, you are scripting exactly what to say. It was an election year. It was 2016 when I got selected. So we would have people in newspaper, radio appearances ask us, like, what's Kraft Heinz stance on things? And we would have to know how to pivot those conversations. And the only debate here is between ketchup and mustard.
Oh, wow.
So they would teach us all of these ways to navigate these conversations.
Hold on, we have a serious argument here in this office.
Oh, with ketchup and mustard?
No.
Nope.
Oh, what?
Mayonnaise on a hot dog.
Oh, filth.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Why you gotta call me out, bro?
No, I'm
Filthy.
with you.
Oh, you eat the mayonnaise? I love
You
it.
do mayonnaise?
Yes.
You're making it a sandwich at that point. Then that gets into a whole
damn it.
different debate.
Thank you,
If a
Taylor.
hot dog is a sandwich, and yeah, I've heard it all. I've heard
Oh, wow.
yeah.
So the wiener dog mobile is intense.
Yeah,
That's-
it's an intense
crazy.
process, and my goal on the Wienermobile was to get to every iHeart radio station that I possibly could. So I went to multiple iHeart radios and continued to make connections. Pulled up to the one in Mobile, Alabama, let them know, hey, my husband's going to be stationed here. I would love a position. They're
Also, here's my wiener.
You drive the Wienermobile? Hired.
yeah, exactly. I have not had to interview for a job ever since.
What's the radius once you're driving that vehicle? Like, how far are you driving with this thing?
Thousands of miles.
Okay, so it's a nationwide.
So
type
there's
gig.
6 Wienermobiles on the road. There's 12 hot doggers. We each have our own area. So I was on the West Coast for
Right.
the first half. So they break you up into different regions,
Mm-hmm.
and you have pretty much have off Monday, Tuesday, and then Mondays were our drive days. We would drive to a different city. Tuesday, Wednesday we would have off, and then Thursday through the weekend we would do events. So fairs, parades, commissaries, all kinds of stuff.
Is
So
it crazy to you how much of that actually translates to real estate?
yeah.
Almost all of it.
I know.
You think about it. So
Yeah.
your first year
Talking
in
about
real
the
estate
scripts
isn't a
and
typical first year in real estate because you had already been objection handling. You had already been selling. You had
practicing
already been
scripts.
door to door. You were already scripting and role playing. So I say that so people don't look at your success and think that it's overnight.
Yeah, no.
know?
It's all of the little things that you do in your life that you can absolutely translate into your next career. Whether that's real estate or not, it's just taking a step back and thinking, what are the skills that I have? And how can I capitalize on this? So Megan does a fantastic job of this too. One of my team leaders, she had a marketing background. So she made her whole real estate career of, we are marketing experts that specialize in real estate. And that's how she was so successful. She really leaned into that.
Also, still killing it. I know she just sold something in Sherwood Lakes because I was trying to get somebody a house.
Yep.
But-
Continuing to kill it, which
Yeah.
she's also a big role model of mine. So if you are looking to get, I would say to people, if you're looking to get into real estate, look at your past careers, past jobs that you've done. What did you really accelerate in? And how can that translate to making you stand out amongst your competition in the business? After the Wienermobile stint and I got into iHeartRadio, I had 8.
That's crazy. I'm
8
sorry.
states.
That's just
It's so
nuts.
cool. More people have been to the moon than have driven the Oscar Mayer Wienermobile.
Wow.
Fun fact.
Your scripts are crazy.
I know.
Her script bag is deep. This is insane.
Oh yeah, don't get
What
me
else
started
do
with
you know?
don't get me started with the puns. But with iHeartRadio, so I had 8 stations. I handled all of their websites and social media. That's a lot of different brands that I was trying to put on a certain persona for.
Yeah.
And there's some brands that I resonated with more than others.
Right.
I don't necessarily resonate as a 22, 23-year-old at the time with the news station or with the oldies station, but I really leaned into the top 40 and the country station. So for me, I learned a lot of valuable skills in representing different brands, but it made building my brand that much
Easy,
more
right?
fun and so much easier because I now have one voice, where back then I had 8 different voices that I'm trying to speak to 8 different audiences. Now I can just be myself and brand myself. And I have all the branding knowledge, and now it's just staying in my lane with it, which was really cool.
I really enjoyed this. I learned so much about you. It's pretty cool. I would have never guessed.
What do you guys like to do outside of real estate? Now that I
Man,
share.
she didn't even let me ask her to ask a question.
Pickleball.
She's just ready.
Losing
It's a
my
family.
shoe.
You want us to go around, or you want?
Whatever you want, gang.
So I enjoy right now. I'm in this pickleball thing, right? I really enjoy it.
Okay.
But like outside of that, I just like kicking it with my people. I like spending time with my kids. I like spending time with my family. I got grandkids. I enjoy that. Sundays is pool days. I like to have the family over when it's not raining, right? We've had bad weather.
So much rain.
Right?
Always.
But I would say where I'm at in my life right now, I enjoy spending time also with my partners. Like, I'm kind of in a unique situation where, like, the people I do business with are also, like, the closest people in my life right now.
Yeah.
So we kick it outside of real estate. You know, we do things outside of real estate. So ultimately, that's where I'm at right now.
I love that. And our team is structured the same. We do what we got to do all week, and of course weekends look different for some people in the business, but for the most part we know that when you're done your showings or you're done writing offers, or even if you're writing offers by Kaleo's pool, we all are welcome and can pop in there. And it is nice to have friends not only in business, but for them to truly be friends in real life as well. So I love that you guys have that too.
Yeah, I'd say kids, number one, family. Right now they're in the little stage. They're all finding their ways, right? They're getting into their Polynesian side, so they're gonna be dancing.
Evie's
here in
going.
August.
Yeah, trust
for
me,
the Polyfest.
Nice.
She came home last night. Yeah, Poppy, we're going. I was like, all right, babe,
Yeah.
chill like that.
So they went to their first event in Boston. They weren't scared of the crowds, which is great.
Yeah, that's awesome.
And then the same thing, like, it's kind of cool watching everything kind of grow. Like yesterday, we had a fantastic day. They were planning the grand opening in Norfolk, but also just the events that we're planning. I was thinking about my day yesterday, right? It was like closing a deal,
Norfolk
buyer
grand
consultation.
opening, buyer console.
Yeah, and I
Then
don't
we
want to
had
give away what we looked at, but it was like we're making plans for February and
of next year,
Wow.
right? Like we're in that growth stage where we're like a year ahead, you know.
And it's like, damn, this is
What else did we
we're
do
doing.
yesterday? Cova Best of Coastal
Cova
Virginia
Best
Magazine's
of,
Best
and then we
of.
were in
You
an
know,
event there, so we're getting
Nice.
recognition. So it's cool diving into the business, kind of leaning away from production in a way, and just honing in on just Iron Valley as a whole. But a day like yesterday was great. It was a little bit of everything. It was
even
future planning.
even
the
today, man,
awards.
has been dope for me.
Yeah, she walked in and we're going through 4 listings that we're scheduling, and it's like
After we
running
just
on.
finished the training, after I just had one-on-ones, after we were just on a
And now
coaching
we're
call with
doing
Kathy,
this.
like, you know, I've done so much by 1 o'clock that it's like,
Yeah, and then we're in here with you, right, doing a podcast. This is great. So, I mean, I would say outside of the family, and these guys know me, and if you follow me, I'm in the pool damn near every day. Last week, we were traveling.
pool, the gym, you love to travel. San Francisco 49er football.
Yeah,
that's
I'll be in San Francisco.
that's Edgar in a nutshell.
Yeah, that's I would say that would be number 3. I'll be out there. I go to a game every year.
Absolutely.
This year
Nice.
we'll be in Tampa Bay watching the
Yeah.
play.
No pickleball, bro? No pickleball mention?
I consider that it's fun, but that's
It's not in
workout.
his top, you know what I'm saying? So
No.
we just
Calls
leave
me
it
to
as part of a
practice.
workout. That's what I consider it as well. It's good cardio.
Yep.
Shit, I don't even know where to start, man. Like, I enjoy reading. I enjoy writing. My wife and my kids are paramount in comparison to anything else. I play guitar. I love basketball. I like weight training. I do so many different things. Like, I also have a pool that I spend ample amount of time in. My
A
son
lot of
loves to
pools
swim.
in this room.
All of us.
Yeah, all of us.
It's part of the franchise agreement.
Got it.
It's part of being in our squad. If you don't have a pool, you can't be down with us.
But for me, I think that probably the coolest thing in my life right now is watching all of my concepts come to life.
I love that.
That's what I'm enjoying. Reach your peak, climb higher, your peak life, conquer the summit of life. Now I'm getting booked for speaking engagements. Like that's, my coach had me do what's called a comparative analysis, and the 2 people were Eric Thomas and Ed Milet, both of which I had the pleasure of meeting this year. E.T., who personally is like, come shadow me, I'll train you kind of thing, you know. But that all came from risk. I kind of put it all on the line a few months ago. People don't really know that, but the back end of that event, you know, that was stressful for me. But the book's done, the event happened, the stuff with ET happened. So I would say for me right now, my hobby is kind of like writing and speaking. Because I'm not going to stop running my companies just because of that. You know, we have a hell of a team here. I don't have to be around for everything or every day or whatever. So I'm going more that route. I'm going to write another book. I'm going to continue to speak, and we'll see where it takes me.
Awesome.
So
I had to share. I was walking when we were at the retreat. I was walking past you, and you had ET. Like, you guys were all giddy, like arms around each other, like.
He was literally
smuggling him in,
hanging on my arm. I'm like, what is happening? That's the visual.
Yes.
Well, that was not planned. Just so everybody knows.
I told him the same thing. I
Yeah.
promise you.
I was like, I've never
seriously.
seen you happier. You were just like smuggling him in, like he's your
Did he have his?
Yeah, that's
He's like, security.
Here's what happened. I was like, Kate, I need you. But how that happened was when we did the book launch and the event and the webinar.
Yeah.
My partner and broker from the Bottom LLC negotiated a meet and greet, right? So we were actually in the lobby just chopping it up for probably like an hour. And another guy that met us there, his name's Sean French. He runs like a top podcast on the planet. We didn't know that. He approached us. We all sit down. Then ET rolls in. And we're like an hour and 15 minutes into just talking. And he gets a text. And he's like, Mike, do you know where I got to go? And I was like, like the front way, you know what I'm saying? Like I've been backstage, but that was at lead up. That wasn't at the resort in Traverse City. So I'm like, I know where you got to go, but it's going to be risky. You know what I mean?
Risky.
But we start going, and he's getting stopped. Like I've never
sure.
seen anything like this, man. I'm like, this is ridiculous. And then he literally looks at us, and he's like, if you guys want me to make it, you're going to have to help me. And that's when I turned on the security guard. This is like, all right, hey guys, we got to go. He's got to be on stage.
You're practically giving him a piggyback.
Yeah,
but
he's
by
got
the
to be
time
on
I
stage
saw
in
you,
5
so
minutes.
happy you
Somebody else
said
saw
that
it.
because that was my perspective,
Right?
and I'm trying to tell him.
Yeah.
And he's just like, "That's how it was." Yeah. I'm like, "Bro, you had to see it from my."
I wish I had a
vantage."
video.
I just think
it
it's,
happened so
it's
fast.
just funny because it was very spur of the moment.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
the meeting was
So
set,
cool.
but the escort backstage was not set. That was like, who tells ET no in that moment? You
Yeah.
know, it's like,
Well,
yeah,
during,
I got you,
during
bro.
that time. Like I'm in the little VIP section. I'm like moving company money,
Yeah.
and then I think it was Carrie. It was somebody else. They all walk in. They're like, "Did you see Eric Thomas walking through and Mike was with him?" And I was like, "No, I've been back here. I know nothing."
But yeah, that was
Awesome.
that just kind of happened.
It was
you know,
so funny.
And
Well, to me, I was like, they are boys. Like he's smuggling him into backstage. Like he's his bodyguard at this point.
Yeah.
that's kind of how it went down. But luckily, I
love
found
that.
Kate Simon
Yeah.
right there in the crowd, and she was by the door, and I was like, "All right, I'm gonna get you here."
Help.
And then they let me, Tim, my partner, and then the two guys that were with ET, because something I didn't know, ET doesn't like. That's his thing. He's like always shadowing or teaching somebody. Like he's in that phase of his career.
Oh, okay.
You know, so the guy Sean French and his partner and somebody from his Next Level Speaking Academy in Atlanta that he does with, I think it's Jordan Anderson. But he had like a student come up to shadow him. He invited that podcast guy to come be backstage with him and just told me to come with him.
Yeah.
So it was just like, I could either say I don't know or we can just knock this out.
Yeah.
You know?
That's fantastic.
But Kate was super cool about it. Jeff was awesome about it. You know, I had some concerns initially, like, does this look bad? Because I don't want it to. But it was completely out of my control. ET was like, take me where I need to go. I looked around and, well, let's go. You know? But yeah, it was pretty awesome.
So cool. The thing that's awesome about those events too is as soon as people get off stage, you almost are fangirling in a sense, but then you start talking to them, you're like, wow, they really are just real people that are really trying to help you out.
He's so down to earth.
So down to earth,
Like
yeah.
he walked in the lobby of the resort in a t-shirt, sweatpants, a fitted trucker cap, and Yeezy Crocs. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, maybe he's going to change before the show? No, not at all. We went backstage. He grabbed some cherries, went to the board, ran through his shit. I asked him some questions because I'm inquisitive. I said, how do you like to wear your, do you want to hold the mic? Do you like to have the lapel? Do you put it on your ear? Just because I'm a certified public speaker, right? I'm learning. And he's like, nah, man, I like this joint. I call it the Janet Jackson. You know what I mean? Like, he's just
that's cool.
super down to earth. No condescending or nose in the air. Like, this is a multimillionaire doctor, top ranked speaker. You would never know, man. You would never know. Like, unless you know who he is, obviously.
Yeah.
But he came and sat down and just talked to us about life. Like, it was awesome. It was cool.
Nice. Do I have another question?
Go ahead.
All right. So I shared how a few of my careers have helped me in my real estate career. Do you guys have a specific example or something from past careers that you feel like has been a superpower of yours?
Every single day, I use the skills that I learned throughout my 23 years in naval leadership, down to the training that we conduct, down to the meetings that we conduct as leadership. I mean, there's too many. When you're in a leadership role in the military, and I a lot of times kind of collate the two as like being a coach, right, and motivating people and being a teacher. All of that kind of collates.
Yeah.
So yes, I did 23 years in the Navy. It really assisted me with learning different people's personality traits, how to motivate different personality traits, and also work ethic, time blocking and scheduling, following up.
Standard operating procedures,
standard-
manuals,
the way I write.
contracts.
Even writing descriptions on the MLS, right? Even
It's a eval, bro.
when we write awards for our company and our staff.
And they look like military awards.
Yeah.
They're
It's-
written as such. They're not decorated as
sure.
such,
Yeah.
But yes, everything, yes, the Navy has helped me tremendously. And it kind of catapulted my career once I transitioned.
Yeah.
All those skills that I learned.
Yeah. Once you
translated
figure out where to put them, it's pretty magical. What about you, Edgar? I know you had an experience where you kind of built a company that didn't reward you. Right?
Yeah.
Would you say
So it was
that
a company-
prepared you for this?
It was Garmin Corporation, so it was.
We dropping G bombs. The
I mean,
Garmin
it was,
Corporation.
It was, if you go shopping, like, and it says Nature Vet on it. So I worked for that company, and I got there, doubled their production, and then they offered me a position that we're starting. At the time, it was a hush hush. They were going to start the soft chew division. I took on that task, but with that task comes a lot of unknowns, going from production into starting a company.
Basically product development, right?
Product development, shopping vendors like lid colors, getting the contracts from Walmart, Petco, all those companies, and basically,
corporate strategic partnerships you're doing.
Talk about what we were talking about in the very beginning was here's this salary and you get overtime, right? But now I built a multi-million-dollar company or division, and I get no part
and
of
he's
that.
an
Now
employee, right? So
yeah, I hired and fired so many people, got the line going, met all their expectations as far as meeting the contracts.
Yeah.
In a span of 9 months, from an empty warehouse to full production, $1 million going out the door.
That's when
And
you
I did
realize you should own.
$120K, and it's like,
Yeah.
never doing that again.
Yeah.
So from the business side, I was always going to be some kind of a partner, owner. Never was going to do that again. But also, I'm the guy that it's like I'm not listening to the noise. If there's any complaints or things like that, what the fuck is the task? Let's just fucking do it.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, that's 100% Edgar.
That is
all the way.
1,000%.
Yeah, y'all want to talk about this, then I'm just listening. The task is
He
these
told
3
me,
points.
He told me the other day, he
How do
said,
we
Mike,
execute?
that's why I'm up here writing on the board. I said, all right, bro. Like, simple Edgar answer.
Yeah, it just has to get done.
Yeah. I love it.
For me, the Navy obviously has a lot to do with it. I was a chief in the Navy. At the height of my career, I did 3M maintenance, aviation maintenance, and damage control at a very high level, training groups of officers and hundreds of sailors. And so the position I am in right now is very similar to running the production desk on an aircraft carrier. But my childhood and upbringing are probably the reason behind the mindset and the execution and the fire in my belly that doesn't seem to go away no matter what we do. But the Navy, coupled with my childhood, have absolutely, like, if you look at our leadership team, melting pot. Men, women, white, Mexican, Puerto Rican. Like, none of that matters to us. Does it do the job? Is the job finished? Like, so mission accomplishment, utilizing resources, setting a standard, putting out guidance, leading people. That's all a fusion of my childhood and the Navy that molded me into this thing.
Yeah.
So the biggest difference is now I can speak freely versus when you're in the military, you can't. Now I can write my story and I don't have to ask permission. Now I can, so it's just, but writing all those evals, writing all those awards. I was always a writer, like even in school, and I wrote music, and you guys know I played several instruments, but being able to take the writing skills that I actually learned from the Navy and like this much of college and put it into turning my thoughts into something on paper, that's been a huge advantage too. When I look back at how many awards and evals I wrote, and like, dude, I wrote that book, like it was second nature for me.
Yeah.
That's because of what I did for so long before we started doing this. But I was selling real estate for a decade before I left the Navy. So I think a lot of people look at Iron Valley, because we opened when you started in real estate, right during COVID, May 2020. And I think people look at that and they look at now and they're like, oh, they killed it. Like, we were working way before that, like way before that.
Well,
So
yeah, someone's, I don't know if it's a podcast or something, it said like every overnight success, it was years in the making.
100%.
Yeah.
That sounds like something I would say.
Yeah. So many people say that. And I know that so many people think that this, like the second that it took off, like, wow, they made it. How did they do it so quickly? They don't see the reps that were being put in years prior.
Even right
to
now.
get,
Relationships.
yeah.
Even right now, you got to think anytime NAR puts something out, anytime Rain changes a form, we as leaders, that's our job.
Yeah.
That instantly becomes our job. I have to digest this. I have to understand it. And I have to know it so well that I can teach it.
Yeah.
And I have to do so in 48 hours. We do it every week, so, but that goes back to the military. In the military, every day there's a message that comes out that you have to debrief people on, so it's...
And it's not that serious anymore. It wasn't written in blood now.
Yeah, correct. So it's all second nature for us. Where like people are freaking out about change, we're like, this is normal. What do you mean? So I would say, yeah, absolutely. Everything I learned in the Navy. Patience. Think about just waiting for chow on an aircraft carrier. You stand in line for 2.5 hours.
Not your husband.
So somebody who stateroom,
Yeah.
I cranked in the stateroom. Okay, the wardroom. My bad. He sleeps in the stateroom. But so I think it's just all of that. I mean, when you look at like an agent waiting on a response for an offer and they're freaking out after 30 minutes, whereas we're like, there's no emergency in real estate. Calm down.
Yes.
Yeah. So our military background, coupled with, I would also say, our upbringing and our work ethic, that's like the perfect storm. Like, because even Eric's not in here, but he's been working his whole damn life. He was in the Navy. Both of these guys are from what I would consider poverty-stricken lives, So we all have like a certain hunger.
Yeah.
Yeah, you start working as soon as you can.
100%. And you had said that during your event as well. Typically, any successful entrepreneur has been through some shit.
Absolutely. Rock bottom is necessary to catapult yourself to where you need to go. 100%. So we all have a different story, whether it was your wife, right? I know your story. Eric, his wife, also is a huge part of his thing. Me, I just hunkered down for 2 years. Like, I wouldn't go out. It was just me, the kids, and selling real estate.
Yeah.
But that was my transition to, like, this is my growth phase, F everybody else. I got to figure me out. And we got there.
Yeah.
But-
And that's what I appreciate about you guys too, because I feel very similarly. Starting full-time January 2021, my dad passed away suddenly April 2021. My parents are divorced. I had to take on that estate while also doing 94 buyer side deals. Had to handle some medical stuff for my sister. And that's the thing that I appreciate is we figure it out. Like, there is no
you're not
excuse.
making excuses.
There's no
100%.
excuses. You're going to do what it takes to get the job done.
Absolutely. 100%.
And then when you get through those types of trials and
You can make it
tribulations,
through anything.
Make it through anything.
Absolutely.
It's not that deep. It really
That's
isn't.
what Edmund said. We just shot a podcast about the book, and he kind of says, like, man, nothing's ever going to be hard for you because your childhood was so hard. Like nothing is that serious.
Yeah.
Are you worrying about where your next meal is coming from? Are you worried about, do you have gas in your car? Are you worried about water, electricity, you know, all these things that we all take for granted? And no, we're not. So it's not that serious, you know?
Yeah, there's years you look back on. It's like, if I can make it through that, I can make it through anything.
Absolutely. 100%.
So.
Yeah.
Taylor, thank you so much. This has been a phenomenal episode.
Absolutely.
I really appreciate you, and I definitely know we're gonna have a part 2.
I appreciate
I have
Yeah.
a bunch of other follow-on questions. But for
Are
those
they about the
listeners-
hot doggers? Because
No,
that was
yeah,
wild.
There's a bunch of other ones too, though. But we're gonna deep dive on Oscar Mayer next time.
I love
Yeah,
that.
I'll bring
I
all
love
the puns.
Yeah. Please subscribe. Please hit like. Please share. Tune in next week. Appreciate it. Have a good weekend.
Take it easy.
Thanks, gang.